Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and we've got a lot to talk about today. So, this morning, the 8th of September, 2022, Wargaming went ahead and uploaded their Waterline video for today, which turns out is another one of the roadmap videos. These roadmap videos and streams are things that the devs started to do in order to keep us more in the loop, since about August of last year with the CC fiasco and the CC walkout. This is one of the measures that they put in place in order to keep the players more in the loop on what's going on in the game. And these roadmaps just lay out a general roadmap from about 6 months out from whatever point they are presented at. So the roadmap we got to see today is roughly from now in September through, I'm assuming, January, February-ish of 2023. Now, they went over a lot in this roadmap video, a lot of information that we've already covered, talking about the most recent updates and updates that are 1 or 2 patches away. But there's 3 bits of information that were really big news, with one being completely out of left field, for me at least. I really didn't see this coming, with the announcement of a new U.S. Battleship line split already. Not only that we're getting another U.S. Battleship line split, but the fact that they are hybrid battleships. We'll talk more about that in a minute. We're going to go in the order of what's coming out first off. So, probably the first big piece of news that most of you are probably wondering about is submarines. So, submarines are leaving testing this year. According to the video, sometimes around, I think October, around 11.9, submarines are going to be leaving testing and entering early access. So that means that, yep, they're coming to the game, and they're coming out in full. I don't know if they're going to do the early access event like normal and drag it out for 2 or 3 updates, because we've all had these submarines in our ports testing for well over, what, a year or 2 now, and I don't think they're going to be able to dangle those keys in front of you and get your attention like that, if you know what I'm saying here. So in the article, there's an article for this. There's a video and an article. I'll link both in the description down below if you want to check out the article, which I would recommend. There's a lot of good information in it if you're wondering about what's coming out. Again, we're just focusing on the 3 big pieces of news in this update. So they say submarines in early access. Since submarines have arrived in testing, we've checked various concepts and looked for unique gameplay for this ship type. Almost all elements of submarine gameplay have undergone significant changes during closed and open test. The dive capacity system was completely reworked, and most surface ships were equipped with ASW weapons, ASW equipment. Alternative torpedoes were added, and some submarines even received controllable guns. Interaction between surface ships and submarines, as well as between submarines, also changed. We started testing submarines in random battles last year. It was a big step and crucially important for our game. Development reached its final stages when we started polishing mechanics, fixing problems, and fine-tuning submarines to bring them to the final shape in which they would be introduced into the game. Over recent months, we've implemented lots of fixes and improvements based on your feedback. We've reworked the submarine matchmaker and combined their queue with that of the destroyers. We've updated the visual and audio effects for sonar pings, and split hydrophone into 2 separate consumables. We reduced the submarine speed underwater and added dispersion for torpedo tubes, which made it harder for submarines to carry out sudden attacks from a short distance. And they note that you can read about this and other changes in our dev blog. We're now sure that submarines in their current state fit well into the Water Warships gameplay and are ready for the next step, their full release in-game. So, we announced that update 11.9 will bring early access to this ship type. From the start, players will be able to get early access to US and German submarines, and Soviet submarines will be added into the game in 2023. Besides this, British submarines Undine, Sturdy, and Thrashel will be put to the test in this fall. For 2 weeks following the arrival of submarines in early access, players will have the possibility to reset skills and demount upgrades for free. Also, there will be a button on the website for resetting skills of all commanders. Many of you welcome submarines in Convoy and asked us to add a separate mode for this ship type. To celebrate the arrival of submarines in early access, we'll release a new operation, especially for the new ship type. The operation is inspired by World War II events, submarines hunting for convoys. The new operation will help both new and experienced captains become familiar with the new ship type, as well as its gameplay features. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Submarines are coming to the game in full release this winter. Probably, 11.9. What we're in 11.8 right now. 7.9 will be October, and then if it's the usual 2 patch cycles, then either 11.12 or 12.1, whatever. However they go about doing it, will be Submarines. So right around January, February is when Submarines will be coming out in full in this game. So that's it. They're in the game. They're coming out in full, despite the many protests that players have with them. I still have some issues with them. I think that, like I've stated before, the individual submarine balance is there, but you just can't get over the fact that they're annoying as hell to deal with, and you either have to drop everything that you're doing to deal with this one annoyance, or you get nuked by them. How do you fix that? I don't know. I do say that they have made a very admirable effort to balance them, and they are far more balanced now than when they were first introduced way back during the first round of testing, but I still think there's a lot of work that needs to be done on them. They aren't exactly ready for full release just yet, but apparently the devs think otherwise, so yeah, that's happening. So, after being absolutely crushed by that bit of news, we got our next humdinger from this dev blog. U.S. hybrid battleships. A branch of U.S. hybrid battleships awaits players in the winter. 3 new ships, Nebraska, Delaware, and Louisiana, are in development. We can safely say that they will be armed with 406mm guns. The hulls for these ships are designed based on the battleship branch headed by Montana, and the primary unique feature of the new ships will be the ability to launch squadrons similar to aircraft carriers and other hybrid ships like Issei, Tone, and the Kearsarge. Okay, Wargaming, I get that Kearsarge was an abomination, yet pretty well received. It's considered to be one of the best Tier 9 premiums in the game because it is. But what in the world led you to think that this is what the players wanted more of? Like, I get it that they're running out of ships to put in the game. We've talked about this, quite a bit beforehand. It takes a lot more resources to design, develop, and build ships than tanks. So, how water tanks can add in a slight variation to a tank here that has a slightly bigger gun or a slightly different engine here or there, a different turret setup here or there. With ships, it's a little bit different. And they have done quite a lot with different ship variations, like the Fletchers. I mean, God, there's so many Fletchers in the game. And several other ships like Hippers. God, there's like, 4 Hippers in the game as well. But good Lord, I didn't think we were to this point just yet, to where we were going to start adding in these monstrosities. And what's weird too is that I don't think these are like conversions. I think these are supposed to be like from the ground up designed. Although I think the Nebraska one looks like a conversion, and the Delaware does too, but I think the Louisiana is supposed to be a full-on design, which is weird. But then again, Louisiana was also the name of the last Montana-class battleship that was laid down. Her keel was laid down, and then it was immediately canceled, not there long after, because the war was, ending. So it's supposed to be a Montana, but it only has 3 turrets in the picture, at least from what I can see. And these are images from the Waterline video. These are not. And this is what was so funny, because like I got on Reddit this morning, and I was just looking around, and I saw this. I'm like, huh, that's a pretty funny fan made mock-up of a hybrid American battleship. Then I saw the article attached to it. Oh my God. But yeah, so Louisiana looks like it only has 3 turrets. So it looks like one got removed somewhere, and now we have the flight deck on top, because it's supposed to be a Montana. Which is also really weird too, is that these Techline ships have less guns than the Kearsarge does, because Kearsarge has 12 16-inch guns at Tier 9, which is one of the things that makes it such a good ship. And then you have the planes, which can, of course, they're equipped with Tiny Tim rockets. There's 5 of them. You can easily do like 15, 16k alpha damage with those tiny Tims and set a fire or two, and have just good consistent damage between the the 12, 16-inch American AP shells with the American BB dispersion reticle and such, and then you have the consistent damage from the planes on top of that, and that's what makes Kearsarge so good. These ships, I don't know how these are going to go. In fact, looking at the Delaware now, too, no, you can definitely see there's some turrets. There's at least one turret on the back. I don't know how these are going to go, because the Nebraska, she only has 2 guns in the front, so she's just only a 6-gun battleship, but you do have planes on top of that. They didn't say much else about these ships on stream that's not mentioned in the article. These are supposed to be coming like late winter, or I think early 2023. I think like probably January, February-ish is when we'll probably be seeing these things come out in early access and see more about them. Yeah, I didn't think we were to this point to where they would start going off the deep end like this. I guess they have been focusing a lot on submarines recently with the announcement of the new British submarine line, and then the Soviet submarine line, which has been there from the start, but we've only seen that in the first round of the submarine test. So I guess there's some naval engineers just going, I don't know, insane at Wargaming HQ and pumping out designs like this. They aren't the refits, because there were planned aircraft carrier refits for the Iowa class. They don't look like this. I mean, these are full, like, again, looks like from the ground up. There's flight decks, there's elevators. It's not just a ramp strapped to where Turret 3 used to be. So, yeah. I don't know what to say about these. We'll see what they're like. Again, Kearsarge is one of the best premiums in the game at the moment, but it's more that it has Tier 10 firepower at Tier 9 along with the aircraft. But, yeah, so that's the second big piece of news. Third big piece of news is that we are getting another European destroyer branch. So they state another branch of European DDs will be introduced next year. It will bring in representatives of several European countries, such as Poland, Norway, Turkey, and Greece. These will be Tier 5 to 10 destroyers with powerful artillery armament, a caliber of up to 140 millimeters. So it sounds like we're having a big gun European DD branch. Maybe these guys will be more running gun style of DDs, which I really enjoy that. But Poland, Norway, Turkey, and Greece. Interesting indeed. Greece kind of makes me believe that it's just going to be a Lend-Lease ship or a surplus American ship. Same with Turkey, too. A lot of Fletchers and Gearings after the war were sold to Turkey and served with Turkey, with the Turkish Navy well into the 90s and even to the 2000s, I believe, in some cases. So I'm looking forward to that more than these hybrid battleships. I mean, the hybrid battleships, they've got my interest, but I just like, really, Wargaming? We're at this point to where we have to be kit bashing this hard. Again, I get that there's, a finite number of real steel ships that you can make ships out of, but I didn't think we were this far gone yet. Again, I've said it like 5 or 6 times, but I'm just still kind of in shock with that. But yes, guys, that's the big 3 bits of news from the Wardenline event. Again, there's a lot more smaller bits of information if you want to check those out in the article, which again linked to is in the description down below. So let me know, guys, what do you think about these hybrid battleships, the submarines coming out in full, this new European DD line. Again, I'm excited for the new European DD line. I'm sickened but curious by the hybrid American battleship line, and well, submarines, it is what it is, and I think we've been knowing that this is going to be a thing for quite some time now. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. On our way to 40,000 subscribers, getting very close to that goal. Thanks to you guys. We're under 1,800 subs away from that goal. So thank you guys so much for that. I will be live streaming right here tonight on the channel and on Twitch. So make sure to come out for that around 5 p.m. U.S. Central Time till around 8 p.m. U.S. Central Time tonight. Hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.